Sergeant Adams, you're good to go.
Yeah. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I welcome you all to the 107th meeting of Guntur Toastmasters. I'm Toastmasters Shavya, the Sergeant Adams for today's meet. As we are here in a Toastmasters meeting, we will be experiencing a lot of fun, learning, and also networking. So, in order to have a smooth flow of the meeting, we have three basic ground rules that are mandatory to be followed. The first one, put your mobile phone or any noise making devices on silent mode, or you can switch them off because it may cause some disturbance to the speaker and also to the The second rule and the most important rule is we request every person, whoever speaks here, to refrain themselves from speaking about sex, religion, and politics in a derogatory manner, as these topics may hurt one's opinions and feelings. I repeat this rule. We request every person, whoever speaks here, to refrain themselves from talking about sex, religion, and politics in a derogatory manner, as these topics may hurt one's opinions and feelings. The third rule is no crosstalks or crosswalks while someone is speaking here. If at all you want to move, please turn off your video and then you can move. Because it can cause some distraction to the speaker. So before going further into the meet, I want to introduce a person who is a foodie and also an inspiration to many of us, and my mentor and the president of Guntur Toastmaster Rohit. Over to you, Rohit.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shavya. Very good morning, everyone. I welcome you all to the 107th meeting of Guntur Toastmasters. Just before we start the meeting, I request all of you to turn on your voice and clap between the transitions and all, because we get that lively feeling of a normal meeting. So before we move further into the meeting, let me just welcome the guests. We have Tarun Teja, who was very excited, equally excited as the members here. Welcome, Tarun.
Yeah, thank you.
And we have Toastmaster Pranav from Hitham Toastmasters, who will be playing an evaluator role, and Toastmaster Manisha from Pragati Toastmasters. She is also playing an evaluator role. And then we have Reshma Sheikh. Reshma, may I know if you're a guest or a Toastmaster?
Yes, I am a guest here.
Okay, welcome Reshma. And we have Sadia Almas, who's also a guest. And Satyanarayana Rasumullah. May I know if you're a guest or a Toastmaster?
I'm a Toastmaster from Accelerators.
Okay, welcome Toastmaster Satyanarayana. And we have our trainer for the day, Toastmaster Shailesh, who is former president of Guntur Toastmasters. You can say the founding president of the club. And Rizwana Begum. Rizwana Begum, may I know if you're a guest or a Toastmaster? Host, can you mute the other people? Okay. We have Suraj Mohan.
Yeah, I am the guest.
Okay. Okay. With a lot of pride and delight, I welcome all the guests and all the Toastmasters to the 107th meeting of Guntur Toastmasters. With this, let us begin the meeting. This is a different agenda we have here today in our meeting. We are going to have speeches and a session on how to craft a humorous speech by Toastmaster Shailesh. So let us not delay much. Let me hand over the stage to the MC of the meeting, that is Toastmaster Haindavi, who is a very enthusiastic member. She joined a few months ago in the club and has become a club officer and is doing a great job in the club as an active member, as a speaker and a leader. Join your hands to welcome Toastmaster Haindavi.
Yeah, thank you, Rohit. Am I audible and visible?
Yes, perfect.
Yeah, okay, fine. Before I start, I'll be posting a link in the chat box. I request all the guest members to please register through that. It's a like attendance form. Yeah, now let's begin. A very good morning to all our Toastmasters and my dear guest. A question. What would be your grade between 0 to 5? If I ask, does Toastmasters help you to gain new skills? Does Toastmasters help you to gain new skills? What would be your grade? Any shares?
I would give 9 on 10.
9 on 10. Okay, fine. Any more? Yeah, 5, 4 or 5. Yeah, that's a very impeccable responses. On average, we have a grade of 4, right? That's true. Toastmasters help you to enhance the skills in you. I am a Toastmaster for 6 months. The skills that I gain are incredible. The Hindavi before Toastmaster is different from the present Hindavi, alias Hindavi 2.0. She gained a skill called creative thinking and time management. Without any further delay, now let me introduce the time management and the time manager of the meeting. We do the Toastmaster Rohit. Help me welcome Toastmaster Rohit, who took a role in an instant. Thank you, Rohit. Over to you.
Yeah, I would seal the.
Sorry, Haidevi, it's Rajit the timer.
Sorry, Rajit. Sorry.
Your energy is contagious, Hindavi. Thank you. Yeah. Good morning, everyone. I will be the timer for today. As you can understand by the word itself, I will keep a check on the time limits. Everybody in the meeting or while we speak, we need to speak for a certain time. If not, if we exceed over a period of time, the other person might not be interested. So we do not know those little nuances of when we need to stop, when we need to continue. Today, as a timer and also an evaluator later, but timer first, I will help you with noting down the timings, and also I'll display you where you are at with your speech flow. I will do that with these 3 timer cards. As you can see on the screen, you will have these 3 cards: green, yellow, and red. Green is for the mean time, yellow is for the median time, red is for the maximum time on your stage. But as soon as I show you a red card, you cannot stop your speech abruptly. So you will have a 30 seconds grace period to conclude your speech. So all in all, even after red card, you can have 30 seconds, but beyond that red card and 30 seconds, if you are still speaking, you will be disqualified for voting. Today we have 3 speakers whose speeches are 5 to 7 minutes. At 5th minute, I will show you a green card. 6th minute, yellow card. 7th minute, red card. And it will be displayed till the end of your speech. And there is a table topics round specially for guests. And it is for a 2 minutes talk. 1 minute, I will show you a green card. 1.5 minute, yellow card. And the 2nd minute, I will show you a red card. And you still have 30 seconds to conclude your speech. I request everyone to stay in their time bounds and make the meeting punctual, and we go in line with the agenda. Thank you, Hindavi.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Rajit. Now, before I call upon the speaker 1, let me call upon the evaluator 1, Toastmaster Rajit, to lay down the objectives of speaker 1. Toastmaster Rajit is not only the VP Education of the club, he is one of the backbones of the club. The skill that Rajit gained from Toastmaster is art of listening. Over to you, Rajit 2.0.
Yeah, back to back. Good morning, everyone. This time I'm the evaluator of speaker 1. Today we have Toastmaster Rohit, who is delivering his icebreaker speech. What is this icebreaker speech? Icebreaker speech is the first speech which we will be giving as a Toastmaster in the club to break the ties between you and the club members. So it is a self-introductory speech. But Rohit has already completed one full path. He has completed, congratulations Rohit on that. And he has started a new path. He already completed his motivational strategies path. And all the best Rohit for your new path. And to read out the purpose statement of this particular project. The purpose of this project is for the member to introduce himself to the club and implement the learnings of public speaking, speech craft. All the best, Toastmaster Rohit. Looking forward for your introduction 2.0. I know you'll rock it.
Yeah, thank you, Rajit. Thank you once again. Now, let's welcome the speaker one. He is the president of our club. He is a foodie, like evaluator, like speaker. Rohit is also an expert in listening. Toastmaster Rohit, the mediocre superhero. Toastmaster Rohit, over to you. Version 2.0. Go Rohit.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bendavi. Thank you. Yeah. So when you heard mediocre superhero, you might all be surprised because it's a quite contradictory words those two are. Mediocre is someone who is not highly achieved or at the same time not as low. But superhero is someone who is, the name itself says. So when I say the mediocre superhero, and obviously this is the icebreaker speech in which I have to speak about myself, you, the intelligent audience, might have already guessed that I am that mediocre superhero. Yes, I am that mediocre superhero. Now, why did I say this? Let me take you back to my childhood and come back from there. Since I was born, I wasn't an overachiever. I wasn't an underachiever. I was right in the middle. I will tell you about this incident that happened during the Annaprashan ceremony during my childhood. So that is a ceremony in the South. We follow that in South India that is followed, where the child is placed on a mat on one end of the mat, and variety of things are placed at the other end. The child has to crawl to the other end and touch a few things. The first thing the child touches will be considered as his or her favorite thing. Maybe in the future, or their dreams or their goals. That is a small tactic that our ancestors have developed to study the psychology of the child. And coming to study my psychology, everyone was pretty confused. Because being born in a family of scholars and well-educated people, I crawled all the way to the other end of the mat. And at the age of 6 months, I even turned my direction and went and touched the Pongal bowl. All the family was surprised because everyone expected me to touch a book or a pen or even money. But I have touched a bowl of food, which made me the foodie, as Toastmaster Hindavi has introduced. So that is where everything has begun. I was not an overachiever and I was not an underachiever. Even in preschool, I mean the primary school, from kindergarten to the primary school, I was one among the top 5 students in the ranks, but never the first ranker. I've never even seen that first rank, how it looks like. I reached up to the second rank, or the ones behind that. I never touched that first rank. I don't know how it feels to be the topper. Again, coming to the secondary school, I reached the double digits of the ranks in my classroom. Like Hulk from Avengers Endgame, I said, I see this as an absolute win. My ranks have increased. But the world said, no, Rohit, it doesn't work that way. Your rank should decrease, your marks should increase. I was like, okay, so this is the other way around. I have to know, or I have to go the other way. Okay, cool, I got it. And then there came something called points in my 10th standard. And now I was confused. Because marks should go higher, ranks should go lower. But what about these points? Okay, Now that confused me again because 10th standard was the most confusing part of my life. I didn't realize what my goals were, and I'm about to finish school. I didn't realize what my ambitions were. I was completely confused what to do in my life next. And I'm about to complete school. So what I did was, I ignored all these future goals, ambitions, and all. I just finished my 10th standard with 9 points, which was not the top as considered by the school, which was not even low as considered by myself, but was not so good, not so bad as considered by the family. Because 9 points, which is equivalent to 90%, was not a big achievement in my family because all the family members or the members of my generation were above 95% up to the 99%. Again, I was the mediocre. With that, I entered into my intermediate, where I saw a different kind of things in my life. I have met so many people who have actually become some of permanent people in my life, just like my family. I've met friends that have become friends for life. Because intermediate hasn't only taught me the importance of education or the importance of being graduated later. Intermediate has taught me so many things in life. The importance of freedom, importance of having your own thoughts and opinions on things. Because that was the time when I didn't have opinions or thoughts for myself. As I was into the maths, physics, and science, maths, physics, and chemistry, MPC, I had to go for engineering after that, which is the common thing because I watched Happy Days movie. Engineering was the common thing. After I finished my engineering, which is not a great thing to talk about because all I did was bunk the classes and have had fun in my life. Okay, along with that, I studied a little bit. I had a lot of backlogs in the first 3 years, which I cleared in my 4th year. Of course, I have to give credit to Toastmasters also because not because Toastmasters taught me electronics and communication, but Toastmasters taught me confidence and motivation. I felt that motivation and the importance of being accountable and responsible in life, which I actually applied in my final year of BTech into my brain and then completed my graduation successfully, which wasn't expected by the family, friends, and faculty. Everyone thought I was going to study 5th year, but proving them all wrong. Since I was the mediocre superhero, I finished my graduation and now I am doing a job as a cashier in Karnataka Bank. That is a different stream, but still, I haven't overachieved, haven't underachieved. I am doing great in whatever I am doing as the mediocre superhero. Thank you. Over to Toastmaster Hindley.
Thank you, Rohit. Thank you. Kudos to Rohit. Now, before I call upon the speaker 2, let me call the evaluator 2. She is one of the pro member and a best evaluator. She is a very confident speaker. Do you know who is she? Toastmaster Monisha. Over to you, Toastmaster Monisha.
Thank you, Haindavi. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Thanks for this beautiful intro. I may not on my video. Sorry. And good morning, everyone. This is Monisha, the evaluator for Toastmaster Asha. And Toastmaster Asha is presenting her level 1 project 2 of presentation mastery. The purpose of the project is for the member to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to a second speech. Timer, please note the time limit is 5 to 7 minutes. It's 5 to 7 minutes. All the best, Asha. Over to you, Toastmaster Haindavi.
Thank you, Monisha. Now, let's welcome the speaker 2, Toastmaster Asha. She is the most beautiful woman in the club. Being a homemaker, she learned how to be confident in speaking English through Toastmasters. Toastmaster Asha, nothing more, nothing less. Nothing more, nothing less. Toastmaster Asha. Over to you, Asha 2.0.
Thank you, Haindavi. It's a beautiful introduction. Yeah, any lady will be liking to hear that I'm the most beautiful girl. Thank you. So am I audible properly?
Yes, Asha, you're audible. Are the timer cards visible?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Good morning, dear friends. It starts when children are young. The moment a child is born, relatives whisper about it. It starts in a child's own family, and slowly he or she will see it in every part of life. A riddle? Let me crack this by taking you through the journey of a girl. Those anxious faces outside the labor room turned the joyous ones at her first sight. She was healthy, beautiful, little cute thing. Her parents held her in their arms and called her our black pearl. Her childhood was filled with naughtiness and adventure. She was the most carefree girl in their family. She was often called coffee powder by her relatives whenever she attended family gatherings. Those days she was wondering why such unique names. Then came the sparkling stage, the teens, lots of dreams and fantasy as any other young teen. Yes, as any other young teen, she was attracted to the boys of her age, but none reciprocated. Over a time, she slowly understood the beauty standards preferred by the society. A change can lead to a new beginning. Her new beginning started with her marriage. She was smart, she was well educated, she was financially independent. But even here, that polarity never left her. She was, but the more carefree. It's not the new deal for her to deal with. Time moved on and experiences were gained. She became a beautiful mother to a beautiful kid. Still, she recollects those whispers. Thank God the baby is not so dark like his mother. Black, the color that emits lots of shades of emotion. Black, the color that whose tag kills many people's existence. I wondered why did the girl in my story did not react whenever she been discriminated on the basis of color. The answer is so simple. She realized at a very young age to accept herself. She learned to embrace her color and she told herself that I am the most beautiful girl in this world. We often tend to be critical of oneself, but there are a number of ways to accept ourselves and our life. It all starts within the stage of mind. Yes, sometimes facing the reality is the not easiest thing to do, but accepting our present make you much happier and you can lead a bright future. In this world of discrimination, I have just mentioned only one parameter, that's the color of one's skin. We can see so many discriminations on the basis of profession, religion, education, gender, so many on. I have seen a lot of protests, social activities, voices against the same. But my question is, has anything changed? In my view, the answer is no. These divides is us we have put into our minds and our younger ones. Nothing can change unless until we will break these walls in our mindset first. Dear friends, I'd like to say our girl likes to be called Blackbird because she feels it's unique. Our girl likes to be called the coffee powder because she finds like she is the center of attraction among her cousins. Our girl likes to thank God for being rejected by those boys at her teens because she is married to a wonderful guy. Our girl likes to be called the dark daughter-in-law because she's enjoying all the appreciation by her mother-in-law for her inner beauty. Our girl is me, Asha. My parents still calls me Blackbird. Nothing more, nothing less. I am who I am. Thank you. Over to you, Haindevi.
Thank you, Asha. Kudos to you. Now, Help me welcome the evaluator 3, Toastmaster Pranav, to lay down the objectives of speaker 3. Toastmaster Pranav, the table topic expert who participate in every table topic session. The skill gained by Pranav in Toastmasters is art of speaking fearlessly. Over to you, Pranav, version 2.0.
Thank you for the kind words, Hindavi. I don't consider myself as an expert. There are many more people. But yeah. Good morning, everyone. I'm Toastmaster Pranav, going to evaluate the speech given by Toastmaster Asrija. Toastmaster Asrija is attempting level 1, project 3 from the path Visionary Communication, which is research and presenting. The purpose of this project is for the member to learn or review basic research methods and present a well-organized speech. It should be researched on any topic. The time for the speaker is 5 to 7 minutes. Timer, please have a note on that. That's it with the objectives. All the best, Toastmaster Ashrija. Over to you, Hindu.
Thank you, Pranav. Now, let's welcome the speaker 3, the most active girl in the club. She learned all the skills that needed for a student, how to work as a team, time management and office leadership skills. Toastmaster Asrija, I ignored Toastmaster Asrija. Over to you, Toastmaster Asrija, version 2.0.
Am I clear and visible?
Yeah, you are visible.
Yes, yes.
Are the timer cards visible?
Timer, can you please show the timer cards? Perfect. Oh. How many of us have ever been on phone, checking social media posts or watching headlines or playing a game and then realize it later that we have spent much more time than we have planned? All of us, right? Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. Cell phones have changed the way we interact with each other and cut down the time spending being creative and interactive, keeping us all the day busy doing nothing. Cell phones can make you feel connected, but they can also distract you and your family being connected with each other in person. See, we have enough things to interfere our family time, busy work schedules, work homework, extracurricular activities. We may see ourselves doing perfectly fine with everything all at the same time, but our attention is limited. Greenfield, a doctor of US, says that it's not the quantity of how many works we do all at the same time. It's about the quality. The way we use our mobiles affect our family relationships. When you are with someone and you are on phone at the same time, you are where the phone is in the virtual world. So, for example, if you are with a child for 5 hours, but you are on the phone constantly during that time, and that is not spending time with her actually. Let me tell you my experience. I live with my parents and an elder sister, which implies we have 4 smartphones in our house. My father is a police. He works all the day and reaches home very tired. After taking bath and having food, he lies down in the hall, checking the news in a phone and sports scores on the mobile. Beside him will be my mom, laying on the sofa, listening to the serial reviews, which she already completed watching in the afternoon. And here comes I and my sister. All the day play games, chat with friends, share memes, scroll on the social media. See, while we using mobile phones, my sister and I talk very less to my parents, respond very slowly and overreact being interrupted, which in return affects our family bondings. Increase in the use of phones caused distress and strain on the family. One fine day, my father got this WhatsApp forwards, which is the observations made in the surveys regarding the use of phones and the impact on the family. And let me share you what actually the WhatsApp forward message stated. An annual survey conducted by Children's Magazine Highlights found that 62% of kids aged between 6 to 18 told that their parents were distracted while they're trying to talk because they are on their mobiles. 4 in 10 parents allow their kids to use phones so that they can enjoy peace and be quiet. 40% of parents admit to allowing the use kids phones so that they can get break. And 42% of kids are spending 30 plus hours in a week on their cell phones. Also, the research was carried out by Digital Awareness UK, the Headmasters and Headmistresses Conference stated that 82% of 3,000 parents felt mealtime should be device free, and 22% said that the use of these mobile phones stopped their family staying in contact with each other. And 36% of 2,000 children surveyed have asked their parents to put their mobiles down. And then James A. Robert, a professor of marketing at Blair University and the author of Too Much a Good Thing, Are You Addicted to Your Cell Phone?, suggested 3 strategies to stay away from cell phones. Number 1, pass a rule in your house that you'll not be using phone after a certain time at night unless it's urgent. Number 2, keep your dinner time free of cell phone because it is the only opportunity to talk about your day and recollect the memories. Number 3, if you are too much addicted to your phone, use an app to monitor the usage and then cut down. After knowing the 3 strategies, we started trying to implement all the 3. And then I can almost see the results. We stopped using phones at the dinner table. That is when I came to know many things about my parents, their college days, their memories. Passing a rule not to use phone after certain time made me feel the value of bedtime stories, and it took me back to the childhood. I knew the importance and the happiness of spending time with my family. By putting your phones down and spending time with your family, it helps you increase your family bonds and strengthen them. I felt bad for realizing it late, but better late than never. After implementing the 3 strategies suggested by Professor Robert, I knew my family members better than earlier. So now it's high time you put your mobile phone down, at least when you are with your family, while you're eating, while you're watching movies. For all those who are doing this, kudos on you. And those who are not spending time with your family using your phones, ignore it. Ignore your phone, just like how I ignored my phone, and my family bond turned to be amazing. Try these strategies and see the results, and ignore your phone. So, are you ready to ignore your phone? Over to Hank.
Yes, thank you, Asrija. Kudos to you. Now, let me reveal the secret how I gained the creative thinking. In Toastmasters, we have a session called table topic session, which is an impromptu session that helps you to draft your speech at an instant. In this session, the members or the guests are supposed to speak on the topic given by table topic master in a time of 1 to 2 minutes. For the benefit of guests, at first 1 minute, the timer will be displaying green card, at 1 minute 30 seconds, yellow card, and finally at 2 minutes, a red card, so that it's time to conclude your speech. Now, help me welcome the table topic master, Toastmaster Sumesh. I guess everyone knows about this guy. This guy owns a restaurant. The creative thinking in that he learned that Toastmaster is incredible, and those incredible ideas make the club every time success. Over to you, Toastmaster Sumesh.
Thank you so much, Heinrich. Fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, good morning. One of the most exciting portions of Toastmasters meeting is the table topic session. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, wonderful. The main objective of table topics is to challenge members to develop their impromptu communication skills, to effectively think on your own feet by answering unrehearsed questions. We also want to give you opportunity to every member to speak at each meeting. Table topics is specifically designed to develop 4 essential skills: listening, listening, thinking, organizing, and speaking. Today, as your table topic master, I'll be asking some questions. Your response must be at least 1 minute and no more than 2 minutes 30 seconds. The timer will be showing at 1 minute a green card and 1.5 minute yellow card and 2 minute red card, and until 2.5 minutes he'll be showing the red card. So those who speak within the qualified time will qualify for the table topic, best table topic speaker. So who's ready to set the stage on fire? Any Toastmaster? Any Toastmaster ready to volunteer? I see Toastmaster Pranav.
Pranav, we will give it afterwards.
First Toastmaster. Okay, right. Any Toastmaster? Okay, no one is raising.
Okay, I would like to go.
Who?
Rohit.
Rohit, yes. Okay, Rohit. Toastmaster Rohit, blood is thicker than water. Blood is thicker than water, Toastmaster Rohit.
Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster Sumesh. I suppose this proverb relates to the family, the blood relations that are thicker than the outside relations. So obviously, blood is thicker than water. I would agree to that statement because we've been born and brought up, and we've shared more moments or more memories with our families than any other people in the world. But I wouldn't completely agree with the statement because according to our basic human psychology, we are more attached to the family. However, we are not completely open with the family. For example, how many of you talk about certain things with your friends that you don't even bring up when you're with your family? I would do that. I have a lot of topics, hundreds of topics that I would discuss with my friends, but I wouldn't even bring up when I'm with my family. Similarly, when I'm with my family, I have a lot of things and a lot of personal issues that I share with them that I don't bring up with the outside world. So blood is obviously thicker than water, but still there are certain different ways that we deal with this relations, that is according to the situations, according to the mindsets. Because with family, you have that bonding, you have that closure like nowhere with no one else before. But with friends, with other people in your life, you have some issue, some bonding and some closure that you can't share with your family. Blood is thicker than water, but blood is not always, blood doesn't serve the purpose as water does at some points. So with that, over to you, Toastmaster Sumesh.
Thank you, Rohit. That was a wonderful thing. And any guests to volunteer?
Yes, I will go. Hi, this is Tarun.
Yes, Tarun.
Go, Tarun.
This is my first time, go with some easy topic.
Sure.
I'm not really that comfortable that to spontaneous speeches and all that.
Okay, Tarun, what are your thoughts if you are a tree in the roadside? What are your thoughts if you are a tree in the roadside, Tarun?
Okay. So, if I was a tree on the roadside, um, see, these days, I think. Okay. See, first of all, I'll be very happy if I was a tree on the roadside, um, because when I was staying in Bangalore, the trees that are on the roadside, the amazing, picture it shows, and uh, nowadays, especially, the tree cover is very less in all the places, and if I am a tree, so I feel like um, I'll feel very sad about this pollution and the tree cover and forest, which are forests are cutting in a rapid way, and the green cover is decreasing on the planet, which is causing a severe damage to the environment. Uh, as a tree, I'll be proud that I'm decreasing this pollution and providing happiness, shade to the people who are coming, under the tree. So I'm giving fruit to the people who are at need. So I'll be very happy, serving the people. At the same time, feeling sad by looking at the pollution that people are doing. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's it.
That's nice, Tarun. So, any Toastmaster?
Yeah, Ms. Sumesh.
Yes, sir, that's yeah. Toastmaster Suraj. Fortune favors the brave. Fortune favors the brave, Toastmaster Suraj.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and the guests. Fortune favors the brave is an axiom. It is very true. It takes courage to take up a bold step. And in today's world, if you are not bold enough to try something new, or if you are not trying to break paths, you can't expect something to happen to you. If you're, as the saying goes, if you do what you always do, you will be there where you always were. Most of us in this world where monotony rules and the same path is chosen by so many people. There are many people who have good ideas, good thoughts, a lot of energy, creativity, but as they're not brave enough, courageous enough to take that bold step, fortune does not come to them. But if we see the past heroes or the path breakers, they are the ones who have treaded that untreaded path to make their fortune, to make their success. So I would 100% agree with this axiom, with this fact that fortune favors the brave. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Suraj. That was a good thing. So, any guests to volunteer? Any guests? Okay, in 3 seconds, I'll be choosing a guest now. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I see Suhana Taslim. Suhana Taslim, are you available? Okay, no response. Okay, Sadia Almas.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Okay, so ready to pick the topic?
Okay.
Yeah.
Almas.
Sadia, if you create a new word in dictionary, what it would be and mean? If you create a new word in dictionary, what it would be and mean? Sadia.
If I create a word in dictionary, I will be very happy that I created a new word and it is helped to all. I want to say the meaning also, that meaning of the word.
Yes.
Okay. I will choose the meaning hard work. Hard work meaning. I will choose the meaning hard work. Nowadays, people are doing hard. Hello, excuse me.
Yes. You can speak. How do you got the idea to create that word and what do you mean? You can speak something on that.
I am not getting actually idea of this. I will try. I will try next time.
Speak something. So whatever you get in your mind about the new word or the meaning, you can speak on that. Not issue. So the ultimate goal is speaking. That's it.
I will be very happy that all are using my word. I am helping to. I am helping to everyone to create a sentence. When if it is the word of success. Okay, I will try next time. Sorry, sir.
Okay, Satya. That's nice. Any Toastmaster now? Any Toastmaster to volunteer? This time I'll be giving only 2 seconds for the Toastmasters. Nikhil, are you a Toastmaster?
Yes.
Oh, Nikhil. Okay, from Guntur Toastmaster, Nikhil?
Yes, I joined last week.
Yes, wonderful. Yes. So, okay. Do you ask enough questions or do you settle for what you know? Do you ask enough questions or do you settle for what you know? Toastmaster Nikhil. audible.
Sorry, my internet got disconnected. Yeah, tell me.
Okay, one second. I guess everyone's got disconnected. Okay. Toastmaster Nikhil,
Yeah.
do you ask enough questions or do you settle for what you know? Do you ask enough questions or do you settle for what you know? Toastmaster Nikhil.
Okay. First of all, good morning, everyone. So, Sumesh, the question that you have for me is, do I ask enough questions or do I settle for something that I've known? So, I would go with the one where I ask more questions and rather than settling for what I know. Why I would go for the first one is, the more I know, the more I get to explore. I will know the limitations or I would know the features of something. If we don't ask the questions, we will never know what is the capabilities or what are the features that it can provide. If we don't ask enough questions, that means we are limiting ourselves. It could be in our growth terms, it could be in our career perspective, it could be anything. So we need to ask more questions and we need to know more things rather than settling for what we know. If we settle for what we know and we don't explore more, that would be the end of our growth, is my opinion. Thank you, Sumesh. Okay.
Sumesh, can you hear me? Hello.
Sumesh, are you speaking?
Yes. Yes. Who is this name?
Shamla.
Shyamla. Okay, Shyamla. So you're a Toastmaster, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Toastmaster Shyamla, would you break a law to save your loved ones? Would you break a law to save your loved ones? Toastmaster Shyamla.
Um, Thank you so much, Sumesh. I would definitely break the law for saving my loved one, because the more I really give importance to the loved one rather than like comparative to the protecting the law, I feel like I would give more importance to the my loved one only, because I do believe in people rather than anything else. So it might be a situation where he is actually in a very great trouble. At that time, if I think about the rules, I may not get this person, I may not be able to save this person. There, saving one person is really greater, very much greater than following a law. I don't say following a law is, I mean, no, should not, we should not follow the law. I say that definitely everyone have to follow the laws. But when compared that, if a person is in danger, whatever might be the situation is, I do definitely save my loved one, because that is what the importance I give to them. When it is comes to a person, we cannot again get back that life. Though we violated a law, we can have that punishment, we can take the punishment, and again from the next time we cannot repeat it. But then if we lose a life, definitely we're not going to get back, and that impact will be there for our whole life. That guilt will be there in my whole life. So I can't take that guilt. and also I can't take the chance to a person losing their life. So it might not be the losing life, but whatever the situation is. So I would definitely give importance to saving my loved ones. Over to you, Sinesh.
That's very nice, Shamla. So, any last volunteer? It's the last topic here. So, anyone, Toastmaster or guest, anyone would be fine.
Can I?
Yes, Rajat.
I guess Pranav has asked initially. You can give a talk.
Yes, yes. Pranav, Toastmaster Pranav. Toastmaster Pranav, are you there?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Toastmaster Pranav, grief divided is made lighter. Grief divided is made lighter. Toastmaster Pranav.
Can you repeat it? I didn't get
Grief divided is made lighter. Grief divided is made lighter. Toastmaster Pranav.
Okay. I definitely agree with the statement that if you divide your grief or if you share your grief with someone, then definitely it becomes lighter. I would like to share my incident. When I was giving my intermediate exams, I wasn't doing well. My health wasn't good. I didn't write my exams properly. So I got less marks than I expected. I wasn't actually doing well, but I got less marks than expected. But as you know, when you're in intermediate, there's a lot of comparisons which happen with your cousins and all. So all my cousins who were of my same age got very much when compared to me. So I was in grief first of all because of my health, and then the comparisons happening. I was not in a situation to explain to my parents what was happening. But when I came back to my college and hostel, I shared everything with my friend, what has happened, what everything has happened. Then my friend was like, see, marks don't decide your future. You know what you have written, you know the knowledge, you know what you have studied. When you have the knowledge, then you don't need to worry. So in that way, he motivated me. He gave me the energy that I can write my improvements after my intermediate. So with that confidence, I prepared well again. My health was good. I wrote my improvements. I did even better. My percentage raised like hell. So I would like to conclude saying that if you share your grief, I think it would be best idea, because you can lighter your grief if you share it with someone, and you may also get motivation, because if you get motivation and the grief is lighter, then you can reach great heights. Thank you.
Yes, Pranav, definitely agree with that. So that's the end of the table topic session. Hope you all enjoy. So before that, a timer, are all the speakers qualified?
No, there are no disqualifications. Everybody is qualified.
Okay, fine. So shall we have the polling now?
I will release it in a while.
Okay, fine. Yeah. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day, Haindavi.
Thank you, Simesh. Thank you for conducting a wonderful table topic session. So the polls will be released soon. So please do vote for the best table topic speaker and also the best speaker. Now, I just forgot to introduce about the most important role in our club. That is the listener role. Help me welcome the listener of the day, Toastmaster Nikhil, who is the first who is attempting the first role in Toastmasters. Over to you, Nikhil.
Thank you, Haindavi. Before I start, am I visible and audible?
Yeah, you're audible and visible.
Okay, thank you. Hi, fellow Toastmasters and guests. A very good morning. I hope everyone is doing good with the given scenario. This is Nikhil here, and I'm playing the listener's role for the today's session. And let me give a brief description of my role. But before we start with that, let me explain why we have this particular role, listener's role. I think every one of us is familiar with two words. One is called hearing, and the second one is listening. Let me explain what hearing means and what listening means. Hearing is an attribute where we perceive the sound, and whereas listening is the analysis of the perceived sound. Having said that, Imagine ourselves. I mean, we would have all been in a situation where we would be part of an discussion, group discussion. It could be formal as well as informal. It could be with friends or with colleagues. And now you're part of the discussion, and suddenly uh, your group members ask for your opinion on the particular topic that they are discussing. Imagine if you were just hearing rather than listening, the situation, awkward situation that you would be presented yourself in. So always try to hear, try to listen rather than just hear. Listening helps you analyze the topic that is being discussed and also construct on the topic that is being discussed. This will help you in many ways. It could be in an interview, it could be in a group discussion, it could be a formal discussion. Listening helps you in many ways. Uh, with that, I will end the importance of the listening, and why we have this role is to check the attentiveness of the guests as well as Toastmasters in this meeting. So to test this, we will start asking questions to the Toastmasters as well as guests on the topics on the topics discussed by the speakers, as well as could be on the table topics that we have heard in today's session. So I have framed a total of 5 questions. Out of the 5 questions, 4 questions will be answered either by guests or the Toastmasters. And the 5th question would be a tiebreaker question. The tiebreaker question needs to be answered by the persons who has answered the first 4 questions only. Again, I repeat myself. The 5th tiebreaker question needs to be answered by the people who has answered the first 4 questions. And the first 4 questions can be answered by anyone in the session. And the person who has answered one question cannot answer the another question among the first 4 questions. Okay, let me start with my questions. My first question so to answer the question, please type in your name in the chat box so that whoever sends their name first, they get to answer the question. My first question for the session would be, where is Rohit working? Okay, I see Shravya's name first. Shravya, can you answer the question?
Karnataka Bank.
Yes, that's correct. Wonderful, Shravya. And my next question would be based on the speaker to speech. What is the color that Asha is referring to?
Black.
Sorry. Okay.
I was the one who typed the name first.
Okay, okay, Rajit. Sure. Correct answer, Rajit. Okay, my next question would be based on the speech given by Asrija. What is the theme of Asrija's speech? I see Shravya's name again. Shravya, I think you have already answered one question. So we will give it to Pranav. Pranav, can you answer the question?
Yeah, it is based on mobile phones and how the mobile phones are affecting the bonding between children and parents.
Yes, wonderful. That's correct answer. And the next question is, what department does Asrija's father work in? Who has typed their name?
Almas.
Police department.
Okay, I think Shravya cannot answer. I think she has already answered.
Police.
The question. And Asrija cannot answer the same thing.
What is answering? It's Almas, I guess.
Who is that?
Almas is answering.
Okay, Almas, that's correct answer. Wonderful. So now we have 4 people, and the 5th one would be the tiebreaker. Shravya, Rajit, Pranav, and Almas, be ready with with your answer for the fifth question. What is the method that Asrija has suggested to reduce or to track your time you spend on mobile phones? I see. Pranav, can you answer?
Yeah, you need to have that app in that which says you how much time you need to allocate, and after this much time you need to put your mobile down, which tracks the usage of your mobile time.
Wonderful, Pranav. I think Pranav is a winner of this listeners session. He has answered the tiebreakers question. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmasters Haindavi.
Thank you, Nikhil, for conducting a wonderful listening session. Congratulations, Toastmaster Pranav, for being a listener of the day. Now, we are getting into the most crucial session, that is the evaluation session. Now, help me welcome the evaluator one, Toastmaster Rajit, to evaluate the speech of Toastmaster Rohit.
Before that, let's finish the polling.
So, meanwhile, take a minute of for polling.
This is for the best prepared speech given by it. We had one disqualification, Rohit. He was a little over time. Sumesh, also can you release the table topics, best table topic speaker?
Yes, you can continue. I'll launch in a while.
Yeah. Okay. Shamla, can you help me with timer cards while I do the evaluation?
Yes. So can you see my screen?
Yes. Perfect. Thank you, Toastmaster Rohit, for telling us that although you are a mediocre, you can still be a superhero at the end of the day. Firstly, I will like to point out the positives or the aspects which we usually see you as a superhero and which you nailed today. The obvious one, all along your stories, you had a wonderful humor. With each story, you had a beautiful, relatable humor at times where we can even go back and relate to us in our intermediate 10th class or engineering. That subtle humor really worked out at most of the points. Second thing is your speech title itself. Although your speech titles, everything reveals about what you're going to tell, but it actually made a lot of sense while you're telling all throughout, rather than explaining how you are a mediocre and still became a superhero in the speech content. You put it in the title, which worked out very well. And with that confidence and what you try to tell all throughout your childhood, how you were a mediocre right from Annaprasan primary school, intermediate, engineering, all throughout you were just a mediocre, which was very clearly present, and we were able to understand that you were a mediocre. It was a very lively speech, to be frank, and your superpower is reliving the speech. You're not just delivering a speech, you're reliving the speech. And you were smiling while you're telling about your diversion to the Pongal bowl. That actually tells that you are not just telling, you're reliving. That felt so good as an audience to me. And also you did acknowledge the audience are smart, that you understood what I'm going to tell. So you had audience on the first grip initially itself. So there are a lot of positives as such, and you did have a chronological order which was very easy to understand for us. Such positives made you a superhero. But what felt us like maybe this guy is a mediocre speaker, what aspects made us feel like that are a couple of things. First thing, you were hovering around certain points, like the intermediate stage, you were telling about your friends, referring back, repeating statements, which made us feel like you were a little unprepared. So what that did was it ate up a little amount of time, which you wanted to conclude some part. I can sense that you wanted to conclude something in the conclusion, how you were a superhero. We were all convinced that you were a mediocre, but we weren't convinced that you became a superhero at the end of the day. That convincing part time was consumed in the top where you were just hovering around. So your drawback for today was the time factor. So I would ask you or recommend you to check on the time factor and practice with time. Apart from that, it shows positives and making us realize once again, it's okay to be mediocre. You can be a superhero. Thank you. Very well done. Over to you, Hainavi.
Thank you, Rajit. Thank you for the evaluation. Now, help me welcome the evaluator 2, Toastmaster Monisha, to evaluate the speech of Toastmaster Asha. Over to you, Monisha.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hainavi. Good morning once again. And a very good morning to my speaker, Toastmaster Asha. You did really a great job. And I, as an evaluator, I would like to evaluate your speech into 3 segments. The things that you excelled at. And the second thing is that the things that you should work on. And finally, to sum up. First, the things that you excelled at were the last conclusion that you have given, the takeaway. As an audience, we are investing 5 to 7 minutes of our time in your speech. You have given a beautiful takeaway. If we have any disabilities, at last, we are what we are inside, not the outside that we are. Thanks for that beautiful takeaway that I can take home after this meeting. And the second thing is that you have a very good audience attention, because at the starting you were talking about something that we really were very excited what you are talking about, the riddle, and you grabbed everyone of us into your speech, and then you talk about your beautiful story, and really that made us connected with your speech very much. And while coming on to the third thing, your voice modulations. When you're talking at the start, everyone called you as a blackbird and a coffee powder. You were having a very low tone, because that makes us tells us how much you think, how much bad you feel. But at the end, you told that yes, I am a blackbird. That confidence, that increase of the tone, that voice modulations that you have in your overall your speech makes your speech very effective and attractive. And while coming on to the things that you should work on with the structure. At the starting, you have a good intro and a body, but at the end, you have concluded and then you talk about that girl is me. If you could rearrange the sentences, like if you told, yes, I am a black, at last you told that I am that girl. If you could rearrange back after your story and then you concluded it, it would be better. It would have a good structure in your speech. And while coming on to the second thing was that your gestures. I did not see any gestures in your speech. You were talking. If you could have a good hand gestures and movements which are appropriate to your speech, which can make it much more effective. And to overall sum up, you have a very good takeaway, audience attention, and a voice modulations. However, if you could work on your structure, that is at the conclusion part, and if you could add some gestures, it would make your speech the better speech. And I challenge you to have a gestures in your next speech. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Hainavi.
Thank you, Monisha. Thank you for your evaluation. Now, let's welcome the evaluator 3, Toastmaster Pranav, to evaluate the speech of Toastmaster Ashrija. Over to you, Pranav.
Thank you, Hainavi. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm back again to present the evaluation for the speech given by Ashrija. But before I give, can I have audio or video check? Sorry, audio check, because I've been said by Ashrija that I wasn't audible. Can anyone confirm that am I audible?
Now you're perfectly audible.
Okay. Thank you. So I would like to present my evaluation with 3 segments. The first segment would be the things which stood out for me in the speech. Next would be the things which could have been better according to me. Then I would summarize at the end. Beginning with the things which really stood out for me was coming to the purpose statements. it is a research project. I think it was very well researched, and it was evident the way he was speaking about the Greenfield doctor from USA, the children's magazine highlights and percentages, figures, and stats in that. And also the things or suggestions given by Professor Robert. It was simple to understand, but it was also very well and deeply researched. Next, the structure was clear. I think you really mastered the structure. The opening you said about the mobile phones, and in the body you had three simple research topics, and in the conclusion you had the message saying that you need to ignore your mobile phones, otherwise it will affect your family bonding. So I think structure was really mastered in your speech. The transitions were smooth. At any point in the speech, I didn't find anything falling out of place. Each and everything was connected, and each and everything was relevant to the next statement. The preceding statement and the successive statement were completely making sense to each other. Most important when you're giving a research speech, the next point was connect with the audience. I really connected with your speech, especially when you're giving any kind of speech. Audience connect is really important because the audience get distracted. If you want to connect with them, you need to attract. And when you're giving a kind of research project, it is very easy to divert the audience, but you chose a topic like mobile phones where everybody connect to that very easily. So I think connect with audience was really well done, and it was a smart choice by selecting mobile phones. But however, how much ever fantabulous a speech is, you always have a scope of improvement. I have some few suggestions in your speech. In the opening, you started saying about mobile phones making you forget your work or a kind of procrastinating. It went on that segment. But in the body and conclusion, you diverted it to family bonding. When you set a context in the opening, the body and conclusion should be followed by that. As you said about mobile phones making you forget your work, and in body and conclusion, you were completely speaking about mobile phones affecting your family bonding. So that I thought was a bit confusing for me. The next, as I said, research was done really well. But when you were speaking about the children's magazine highlights, you were saying like 7 to 8 different percentages, figures, stats at the same time. If you were broken down those 7 to 8, put 2 here, put 2 there, or put 2 at the end, it would have been easy, because remembering 7 to 8 and listening also is very difficult, and it is very difficult to understand or succumb to that, because 7 to 8 different stats of different people and in different contexts is very difficult to understand and to listen to or to bear with the kind of research which you have. So if that could have been broken down, it would have been fantastic. To summarize, well-researched, structure was clear, transitions were smooth, connect was there with the audience, opening could have been followed with body and conclusion, research could have been a bit broken down to find it more simplistic and understanding. That's it, over to you.
Thank you, Pranav. Thank you for your evaluation. Now, help me welcome the timer of the day, Toastmaster Rajit, for his evaluation.
Yeah.
Timer, can you please confirm whether all the evaluators are qualified?
Yeah, all the evaluators are qualified.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Which I will be again reiterating in my report again. Thank you. The meeting has begun 4 minutes late. It has begun on 10:04. Then the prepared speeches started at 10:13, and it was all in line with the agenda. Prepared speeches went well. Rohit, speaker number 1, has consumed 6 minutes 39 seconds. Toastmaster Asha has consumed 5 minutes 2 seconds. Toastmaster Asrija has taken 6 minutes 3 seconds. It being a prepared speech, it was being an icebreaker speech, it was just 4 to 6 minutes. So Rohit was disqualified by 9 seconds. Later on, when it came to table topics, it was again in line with the agenda. He had perfectly taken the given amount of time, except there are yeah, I see everyone is qualified except a couple of people, which we have released the poll for all the qualified people in the time with respect to the time bounds and evaluations. They are very well qualified, and I see the meeting is going very perfectly with the given time limits for each segment. And yeah, over to you, Heinrich. And I forgot just a second. Thank you, Shamala, for helping me with the timer part when it was especially with the table topics. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Rajit, but I want to say something that if you could
please.
keep the timer report at the back, like after any other reports, There are no other reports today.
Yeah, there are no other reports actually.
Yeah. If there are, if it would be good if we keep the timer report at the end, so that it will be easy for us to tally the time and all. That's it.
Yeah, sure. Noted, Shyamla. Okay. Over to you, Haindri.
Thank you, Rajit, and thank you, Shamla, for the timer role. Now, the most interesting session, a session on humorous speech crafting by Toastmaster Sailesh. I heard a lot about his enthusiasm and brilliance in speaking and leadership. He was the first president of Guntur Toastmasters, a manager in ITC as a profession, and also a district level humorous speech contest winner as well, who will help you to gain the knowledge of humorous and teach humorous speech crafting. Now, I hand over the control to Toastmaster Sailesh, the wit master.
Thank you, TMOD. Can I see my face on the main screen? Is it possible to put my face on the main screen? Thank you. Okay. I am audible to everybody?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay. So how many of you are going to take part in the humorous speech contest? Anybody who's decided to take part in humorous speech contest so far? Hello?
DPED is deeply hurt. Raise your hand, dear members.
Nobody, is it? Okay, then let's hope that with my session, some of you will participate in the humorous speech contest. Especially people who are living close to me, I think they should be participating. So Asha and Ruchi, you have a task ahead of you. See, humorous speech, when is the contest? Any idea? When is the contest of your club?
In a month, sir. There is a month time.
There is a month's time. Essentially, if you talk about humor now, why do people laugh? Understanding what is humor and why people laugh is important to writing a good speech. People laugh normally when they feel that you are an idiot and they are superior to you. So that is what makes them laugh. That, okay, what kind of stupid person is he? So self-deprecating humor, humor where you are always in trouble, is the best way to make people laugh. That is the safest way to make people laugh instead of making fun of anybody. So that is the underlying tone of any humorous speech. Second thing why people laugh is when you have a surprise element given, which is a pleasant kind of a surprise, or, you know, again, something that they were not expecting. If they are caught off guard, that is when they laugh. So your speech should be tailored to delivering that kind of both surprise as well as a feeling of superiority to the audience. Now there are three ingredients to humor. How do you devise humor? There are three ingredients. I hope somebody is recording. Some of you can make notes if you want to. There are three ingredients to any humor. First, that you should have a plot or a storyline that has a lot of people or people interaction. Unless there are people to talk to, there will be no humor. So your story should have few characters who you interact with. That is important. Second thing that is important is that you have dialogues with people. Unless you are talking to people in the first sense, narrating a story in the third person will not make anybody laugh. So there has to be, you know, a neighbor or your teacher or somebody who you are talking to, and therefore there is laughter. And the third one is, important point is that there has to be embarrassment or an awkward moment unless there is embarrassment and awkward moment for anybody, nobody will laugh. For example, I remember last time HTM gave from HTM, your Amina had gone to, I think, the division level, up to the division level. She was a runners-up. I had mentored her, and she had a story of where she moves into a new house, and there is a neighbor, Sharma ji ka ladka, who she is always trying to compete against, and how she always fails and how he always wins. So that kind of story, I remember I had a story which went on to the district level, where I am the house husband. I stay at home, my wife goes to work, and I take care of the child. So therefore, there are opportunities to be awkward, whether it is with your neighbors, whether it is with your mother-in-law, whether it is with the child himself or your wife. So a story has to be designed where you actually can create awkward situations. Unless those awkward situations are there, you will not be able to create humor. So when we come to this part of creating humor, a very fundamental concept is the construct of a joke. How do you write a joke? Joke comprise of? A joke again comprises of three things. One is a situation. A situation, I will give you an example. Any situation that you can think of is the first thing where a character, the central character, is faced with a situation. And then you have to set up a joke in the sense that the narrative of the story has to go in a direction where you mislead the audience into thinking that this is going to happen. And then the third thing is the surprise or the twist part of a joke, that instead of the expected result or expected outcome, you deliver something else, and that creates a joke. For example, I will give you, the other day, my wife was scolding my son, and my son talked back to my wife, and I got very upset. I dragged him by his hand to the other side, and I warned him. I said, the next time you do this, you have to teach me how do you actually do this. So the basic construct of a joke is that I am trying to scold my son and I am very upset. So thinking, people are led to think that I will actually correct my son. But the result is that I try to learn how to talk back to my wife. So now that is the kind of a standard template of any joke that you have to keep in mind while you are giving a joke. So coming to the contest part of it, how do you actually take part in any contest? First thing that is required is that you have a story. You have a story that has potential to create humor. So I have seen people writing story about college professors, their college time students, about different type of professors and what was funny about them. I have seen funny speeches about people looking for husbands or a spouse or wife, going the typical Indian bride searching kind of storyline. I have personally given speeches on trying to bring up my kid. So that is one. The other was being a house husband. The third was going to dentist. How, you go to a dentist in different pains, and then suppose you have a lady dentist, then the different kind of complications that can arise. So there has been all types of stories which have potential. So, but the first requirement is that it should be a smooth flowing story. It should not be a collection of jokes. It is not a collection of jokes. It has to be a smooth flowing story. And then once you write the smooth flowing story, you add humor bit by bit. So every incident that you are narrating, you have to add humor to it. So for example, in my speech of a house husband, I narrated how all the wives of my colony used to take their children out in the evening to the park, and I, as a house husband, had that duty to do. I used to take my son out into the park, and how I met all the ladies gang, and how I thought, they were all kind of thinking that I am a big hero or, of the entire colony. And they are all kind of, becoming my fans. But the end of the story happened, or different incident happened, where they thought that I was actually the servant of the house. So that kind of twist or a surprise is what leads to humor in any situation. So there was, I was challenged by my wife. How the story was constructed was, I was challenged by my wife to try and be a housewife kind of role. And then how I faced challenge with my kids, how I faced challenge with my mother-in-law, how I faced challenge with my neighbors. And therefore the conclusion was that how the role of a housewife is very important and should not be underestimated. That is how a typical construction of a speech happens. And then in the different incidents that you are giving in the body, 3 or 4 points should have potential for humor, where you give dialogues and unexpected outcomes. That is how any speech has to be written. Now, the important point that relates to how the delivery has to happen. Now, delivery, the important part in delivery is that you spend a lot of time writing your speech. So at least a week should be spent writing your speech, so that you get all the incidents, you write it, you take feedback from your mentor, you redo it, and you read it aloud. Every incident you read it aloud many times and see if you are getting a smile, see if you are getting somebody to laugh. Take feedback from people, because you will find that many times you write a funny speech and you yourself are not able to laugh on it or even get a smile out of yourself. So reading it out aloud many times will sharpen that sense of humor. The second point that is important is the timing part. How do you pause before a joke? That has to be practiced. Because the pause, after the pause comes the twist or the surprise. So when I draw my son, when I get angry with my son and I draw him aside and say, next time you do this, you teach me how to do it. So there is a pause in between, and then a sentence follows, which is the punchline, which is opposite to the audience expectation. So that is very important in delivering humor, the pause or the timing of delivery of the punchline. Unless that is there, you will not be able to deliver a funny line or get a laugh from the audience. And the last point is that you must incorporate, like I saw Rohit today. Rohit was standing slightly back from the camera, and he had a lot of body language. Even if you are doing it online, you will need to have some body language, because humor cannot be delivered just by words alone. Your facial expression, your hands, your body language, everything is there to create humor. So please make use of that body language. Practice in front of your laptop or phone or camera, and stand at an optimum distance so that the audience is able to see your body language. Have better equipment, either a headphone or a microphone or whatever works for you, so that you are able to stand hands-free and you are not sitting on a chair like I am sitting. If you're sitting in a chair, it is difficult to deliver humor. You have to be standing and you have to have at least the upper part of your body, upper torso visible on the screen to be able to do some body language and to be able to deliver that humor. So please remember, I will sum it up again. Please remember, you have to write a storyline, not a collection of jokes. You have to create incidents that deliver surprise and put you in an awkward situation, put yourself in an awkward situation. And once you have that and you deliver it with a timing and a pause, there is no reason why, you should not get a laugh or you should not win in any contest. So now with this, I will end. If you have any questions, I will answer your questions.
Sir. Sir, I'm Toastmaster Ajit. So
yeah.
This age-old question of humor speech contest, like the message is really important while we are having. My specific question is, how can we think of speeches which do not have a message?
See, every speech can have a message. It is just a question of, while there is nothing wrong with having a speech that does not have a message, it is perfectly fine. But personally, I feel that I can deliver a message in any speech. Even if you are making fun of your teachers, you can deliver a speech. Even if you are going to a dentist, you can deliver a speech. Even if you are a house husband, you can deliver a message to the audience. So it is a matter of connecting correctly. And if anybody needs any help in that, I am willing to help that person drive a message in the speech. It is always possible. But having said that, even if it does not have a very great takeaway or a big philosophy behind it, it is perfectly fine. Anybody else? And by the way, I heard 3 great speeches today from Rohit, Asha and Asrija. I must congratulate the 3 speakers. They have delivered some very good speeches through this digital media, which is amazing. And I think everybody has caught that thing of how to structure a speech and how to deliver. So that is good progress in GTM. I'm very happy to see that.
Thank you, sir. Sir, this is Rohit. I have a doubt.
Yeah.
So coming to this is a doubt regarding the ballot. So in the ballot, judging ballot for HSC, we have 15 marks for humor, right?
Correct.
So based on that, how many jokes and how much interval between 2 jokes would you suggest for a normal humorous speech?
That is a very important point actually, which I missed. Thank you for bringing that up. In a humorous speech, humor is only 15%. Balance is all normal speech criteria. So that is very important point which you brought up. So you have to remember that humor is only 15%. So even if your speech is, mildly humorous and witty, and even if you're not getting very, very big laughs, even then you can win a contest. So typically I will say that there has to be 5 laughs in your speech. First is in the introduction, 3 in your body, which is typically 3 incidents or 3 paragraphs, and the last one in your closing. So if you have 5 good jokes in your story, and even if you get 3 laughs out of those 5, I think that should work. So 3 good laughs should work. And even if you don't get a very big laugh, still you can win a contest. There is no problem about it.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so all the best to you, and anybody who thinks needs little guidance, maybe I can guide one or two people who win or are preparing for HSC contest. I would be willing to mentor somebody. Maybe one or two people from GTM I can mentor for humorous speech. So that the club can decide who wants mentoring from me. Right? So thank you, and I think all of us can now appear, if the meeting is almost to an end, all of us can now appear on the screen instead of hiding behind a dark screen. Where are the others? Okay, TMOD.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your wonderful thing. So that's all. Now let me hand over the session to our presiding officer, Toastmaster Rohit.
Thank you, Toastmaster Haindavi. I request all the audience to just unmute themselves and give a huge round of applause for Toastmaster Shailesh for taking this wonderful session in Good to Toastmasters.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So with that, let us move to the results. Rajit, can we have the polls for the best table topic speaker?
I guess you should be awake in the meeting. It was done.
It was done. Oh, I'm sorry. So,
I'm just trying the humor part. Okay.
Okay. Since you are also done with the role players reports, we're done with the role play. We're done with all the votings, right? So let us move on to the results. Before the results, let me just quickly get some feedback from the guests. I would like to request the guests to just unmute themselves, tell their name, and give a small feedback about the meeting, how it went, and all. Anyone from the guests who would like to give some feedback about the meeting? Okay. Let me pick Tarun. Can we have your feedback?
Yeah. Last time when I came to Guntur Toastmasters Club, it was 2 years back. So now again I am here. See, at that time and this time, whenever I came into the Toastmasters meet, it was really a wonderful experience, and a lot of motivation for me to concentrate on my communication skills and leadership skills. Each and every time I stepped into the Toastmasters meeting, so I found these wonderful people here. I don't know all wonderful people in and around Guntur come to this club, or after coming to this club, you people become wonderful. I don't know. But I'll get a chance to meet the enthusiastic people and with lots of energy. I really enjoy whenever I join a Toastmasters meeting. It's really wonderful meet. Thank you, guys. Thank you for this.
Wonderful. Thank you, Tarun. So to answer your question, I don't know about the other people, but after coming to Guntur Toastmasters, I feel I became wonderful. I believe all the other members also would agree with that.
Yeah, I think that.
Okay, shall we have feedback from anyone else? Anyone from the guests? Reshma, can we have your feedback, please? Okay. Okay, then let's just quickly move to the results.
Yeah, Sumesh is urging to tell something.
I know. I thought I would let him do it after the results. Okay, since Sumesh has already unmuted himself and is ready to pounce, let us welcome Toastmaster Sumesh, Vice President membership of the club, for a small announcement.
Good morning again. So I'm back this time as a VP membership. So guys, have you enjoyed this meet? And Toastmasters from other club, have you enjoyed it? I see it, thumbs up everywhere. So this time the term is going to be an end, and new term is beginning. Whoever are ready to unleash their communication skills or public speaking skills, so this is the platform you can cherish your moments and enhance your skills. I will be dropping my phone number and email address so I can share you all the details of becoming a member. Hope to see you in the mail. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sumesh. So let me just repeat again. Guntur Toastmasters is taking memberships. We are getting memberships soon. The new membership term is going to begin from October 1st. So if you want to grab a spot in Guntur Toastmasters, join the club before term ends. We are going to have you as a new member from October 1st. Any queries or any doubts you have regarding this membership, Sumesh has dropped his contact number in the chat box. You can just text him on WhatsApp, or you can just mail him also. Okay, so with that, I guess we can move to the results.
Yeah, I will take this privilege of announcing the results for our Guntur Toastmasters 107th meet. And the best evaluator for today is Toastmaster Pranav. For his evaluation, he covered almost all the points in the speech. The best speaker is Toastmaster Asha, our Black Pearl. If I can say that.
Go Asha.
Thank you.
Because we are your family.
Yeah. Come to Black Pearl.
You are not a black pearl, you are a beautiful pearl. And the best table topic speaker is Toastmaster Vikram Kumar. Congratulations, Toastmaster Vikram. That was a very good table topic. And the best listener is Toastmaster Pranav again. This guy steals our certificates like anything. And a heartfelt thanks to Toastmaster Sailesh once again for having this humorous speech education session. I was having very minute doubts and all of them were cleared through this. I overcame my inhibition in participating in humorous speech conference. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
And the certificate of appreciation for Toastmaster Nikhil for taking up his first role in Guntur Toastmasters. Congratulations, Nikhil. And most importantly, dear guests, thank you so much. And I will be uploading this video in YouTube as well, if you can share with your friends. And the education session will be separately uploaded. If I can, Toastmaster Sailesh. Can I upload our education session in our GTM YouTube page?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you cannot answer a no on the call, I know. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Rajit. That was a wonderful announcement of results. So with that, we are done with the meeting. We are done with 107th meeting of Guntur Toastmasters. Now, before leaving the meeting, I suggest, urge, persuade, request all the club members to take part in the humorous speech contest with the motivation given by Toastmaster Sailesh here in our meeting. So with that, let us all switch on our cameras and have a good group picture here. so that we'll be uploading this on Guntur Toastmasters Instagram and Facebook pages as a memory of our meeting.
Sumesh, you're on 2 screens, not even one video is turned on.
That's the VP membership for you.
Same t-shirt. Okay. Almas is back. Almas, can you turn on your video? We are having a group picture. Almas, can you hear me? If you can, please turn on your video.
Okay.
Have our picture. Count of 3. 3, 2, 1. Smile. Smile. Okay, let me just cross check. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rajat. Now let me hand over the screen to Toastmaster Shravya Sergeant at Arms to close the meeting.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rohit. This is one awesome meeting we have today. And yes, we are ending on time. I officially announce the Guntur Toastmasters 107th meeting to an end.